All the world during the last few days watched Central Committee of the Communist Party of China resolution, which I'd like to make a few comments. Further deepening reform comprehensively to advance Chinese modernization. I think this is a very important document. I have a clear understanding that Chinese leadership have clear vision, have strategic plans which will be implemented because they are based on the scientific approach and they are comprehensive. They give new impulse for development, both economic, social and technical sphere. First of all, we should think about the opportunities which are creating for the Chinese economy modernization. According to the resolution of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China, Chinese modernization has been advanced continuously through reforms and opening up. It will surely embrace broader horizon through further reform and open up. To deal with comprehensive development both at home and abroad, adapt to the new round of scientific and technological revolution and industrial transformation, and live up to the new expectation of our people, it is vital that we continue to advance reform. This is the citation from this resolution. What is the most important from my point of view in this approach? As I mentioned, Chinese leadership got very ambitious results during the last decades. China took series of measures to achieve high-quality technological innovation and economic growth, such as promoting the common development of economics of all ownership, building a unified, open and comprehensive competitive market, improving the government capacity for governance and macroeconomic control, applying supply-side structural reforms, reforms the science and technology system. For the last 10 years, the number of Chinese innovation companies increased from approximately 45,000 to around 465,000. It means they increased 10 times. The proportion of the added value of strategic emerging industries in GDP rose from 4 to 15%. China becomes the world leader in high-tech sector. In the last year, the total research and development expenditures around 2.64% of GDP, reaching the level of world-class countries with high research and development intensity. It means that China uses the science and technological progress as a main mechanism for modernization. And this is quite up-to-date approach. At the same time, China created a very diverse economy, which includes both state-owned and private sector. All the ownership, as mentioned in this resolution of the Communist Party Congress, all the types of ownership have equal opportunities. So the most important in this approach is that advancing reforms are essential for upholding and improving the system of socialism with Chinese characteristics and modernizing China's system and capacity for governance, for putting the new development philosophy into practice and better adapting to the evolution in the principal contradictions of Chinese society, for the adhering to a people-centered approach to see the gains of modernization benefit all our people fairly. The development of human community with a shared future and winning the strategic initiative accelerating the global changes create a new trend of growth in the world economy. By the way, here in the Eurasian Economic Union, we also now planning our further development till the year 2030 and the year 2035. And for sure, we shall use this Chinese approach as one of the guidelines for our own planning mechanism, because we also want to see the Eurasian Economic Union as an attractive center for the people, for the investments, with the high standards, with the modern market economy oriented to the social needs for the well-being of the population, and China gives us a very good example. And I'm sure that building the modern market socialist economy, China will increase the efficiency of all the resources which are used in the country. As an economist, I should say that this is a very good and right approach. Here in Russia, we have a permanent debate about the role of state-owned companies and the role of private companies. How to combine the state-owned sector together with a private competitive sector. And I think that Chinese model gives us a clear answer that China optimized the proportion and the coexistence between state-owned enterprises and private sector. And as we see in those plans, Chinese government clearly define the functions of different types of social-owned enterprises, proclaim the tasks to improve the management of the primary responsibilities and core business, identify the key areas and orientation of state capital investments. Really, the state capital investments are a very important part of the Chinese mechanism of economic growth. For instance, in Russia, we moved through the huge privatization campaign. And this privatization campaign undermined the role of state-owned companies. And Chinese experience show us that the state-owned companies can be a locomotives for macroeconomic growth, for maintaining stability, and for promotion investments. So this combination of private and state-owned companies is a very important feature of the Chinese model of economic growth. The government-private partnership really creates huge opportunities to use private entrepreneurs in order to achieve the goals of the economic growth, the goals for the harmonization of economy, to create new opportunities for economic development. It is noteworthy to mention that this combination of state-owned and private companies create very good incentives for the growth of investments. As I mentioned, the strong feature of the Chinese economy is the very high accumulation rate of investments. The long-term government investment mechanisms are supporting the development of major projects using the combination of public and private interests and market-driven mechanism for ensuring self-sustaining growth of efficient investments. So this is the guarantee that investments will be efficient and will be optimized by the criteria of the growth of economy and the well-being of the population. China becomes a very open economy, and the new era is called high standard open up. And we see clearly that China is open economy not only in terms of international trade or participating in international investments activity. We really see that in the future plans for the year 2035, the Chinese party leadership apply the new development philosophy to steer reforms and ground the efforts in the new stage of development. This supply-side structural reforms improve incentive and constraint mechanism for promoting high-quality development and strive to create new growth drivers and strengths. The strong feature of the Chinese economy is the harmonization of strategic planning and market competition. It creates complex mechanisms where strategic planning give guidelines for the private entrepreneurs. The financial system is created in such a way to promote investments, and all the parts of the macroeconomic policy, monetary policy, taxation policy, or foreign trade regulation are combined as a holistic system, which is designed to give more opportunities for economic growth. And for this reason, we see that Chinese economy becomes more and more complex. It becomes more and more holistic. It is very important that in this political document, we see that party leadership is trying to build industrial and supply chains that are self-supporting and risk-controllable, improve the institutions and mechanisms for bolstering key industrial chains such as integrated circuits, industrial machine tools, medical equipment, instruments, basic software. China already becomes the largest science and technology country in terms of number of scientists, the amount of expenditures for research and development. But now, as I see, the Chinese leadership is trying to create a new, more efficient system of management in science and technology policy. It will be very well organized, which will include various parts of control and monitoring, strengthen enterprise-led collaboration between industries, university, research institutes, reserve fund systems, which is very important to avoid high risks. The very important part of this new era for the Chinese deepening reforms and high standard opening up is the role of scientific community. As I already mentioned, China becomes already the largest country in terms of research and development expenditures and number of scientists and engineers. In the year 2035, China is expected to become the world's largest economy with science and technology strengths in most industries reaching world's first-class level. China continues to be one of the most favored investment hotspots for enterprises and individuals from all over the world. I'm sure that this new era, Chinese reforms, which are comprehensive and deepening and will be based on modernization, will create the core for the new world economic mode. China already becomes the leading country in the real sector of economy. It becomes the leading country in investment activity. And it is becoming the leading country in science and technological progress. It is quite clear that China is able to create its own supply and demand value-added technological chains and be self-productive, self-organized, and self-sufficient. At the same time, we see the transition from the old economic mode, which was dominated by the Soviet Union and the United States for the whole most of the 20th century. We are coming to the new world economic mode, where we expect to have multipolar economic organization, and China for sure will play the role of the core of this new world economic mode. The One Belt, One Road initiative gives opportunity for all other countries to join the core of the new economic mode. And here in the Eurasian Economic Union, we are trying to combine our regional economic organization with the Chinese initiative of the One Belt, One Road, and we see that the plans for the further development of Chinese economy till the year 2035 are quite clear and openly give us opportunity for combination our integration model with the Chinese model of development. This will create the basis for the large Eurasian partnership, which was declared by the Russian President, Mr. Putin. In Eurasian Economic Union, we are trying to elaborate our plan for the development of our countries till the year 2035 on the basis of declaration, the Eurasian Economic Road, which was signed by the heads of the states of the Eurasian Economic Union. And those plans which we see now in China for the new era of development, and those plans which we are elaborating here in the Eurasian Economic Commission could be combined together, and we can create our common future based on the ideas of modernization, of harmonization, of well-being, of peace and prosperity of all the nations.